way that any arts. It's like, listen to what I say and do because it's going to inspire you. There's a certain amount of arrogance in it.
I am getting ready to go hang out with my neighbor Neil. He said it was cold, so dressed appropriately. Doesn't have the heat right now. How did I meet Neil? I met Neil walking down the street. Neil's just like, he's got a cool look, man. So one time I saw him at an intersection while he was waiting to cross the street, and I just came up to him and was like, what's your deal, man? You seem cool.
Well, you ever heard of the movie The Turning Point?
I'm not sure.
Shirley MacLaine and Anne Bancroft. I remember the first real party I went to in LA was this art director, like the big art director in LA back then was this guy named Lloyd Ziff. So I'm sitting there and I look around and all of a sudden I see Albert Brooks. Oh yeah, I had been in LA for a month. I got addicted to Valium after the first month I was here, but that didn't last very long, but it was a fun month. Somebody called me up that knew me from Gainesville and said that she was desperate. She was part of a three-person magazine staff for a silly magazine in Marina Del Rey, but the editor had just quit in a huff because he wanted to be a TV reporter.
What?
Yeah, this was in like 1977 maybe. So I was like, sure, I'll do that because I wasn't earning any money.
Yeah.
And it seemed fun and I could ride my bike to work and all of that. And we would bring in production artists for the week that we were in production. And he called me up and said that he was working at Playgirl. There were very few national magazines based in LA. Architectural Digest, Playgirl, We, and Hustler.
There was only a few employers if you were looking.
There was only, if you wanted to be in a magazine, there were 5 choices, 3 of which were pornography. John Waters was sort of my spiritual angel, but David Bowie and John Waters, like between them, I was like, well, if I'm doing a music magazine, I want David Bowie to think it's dope. But if I'm doing like a more like campy white trash kind of edgy, you know, working with what you got kind of. I mean, between the two of them, I got my entire, Patti Smith. That's the Holy Trinity. I mean, I would have thought about the 4th and 5th, but it was for sure Waters, Bowie, Smith. That was my trinity.
And then you're working on these other magazines. Would you say that maybe in the back of your head, you're cooking up ideas for like Beach Culture and eventually RayGun?
I think it's one of those things that like, it only makes sense when you look backwards and you realize it was actually a very straight line, but it didn't seem like that at the time. The problem with these narrow magazines are they are dependent on advertising. And there's a lot of like, I mean, every issue with Beach Culture was a fight about something. And ultimately, Beach Culture on the verge of massive financial success, just like crazy, which I was worried about because we had peaked on the 7th issue and I didn't know what else we could do. We were out of tricks and my whole plan was always to turn it over to 2 younger people. This is a John Waters rule. Always try and do something that no one has ever said before about that person or event. It opens up your own memories of it. Because if you're writing about something that you're part of, then I always thought that not pretending that you're not part of that story is like ignoring basic quantum physics.
Okay, we're back. I'm gonna dive into this footage and see what we got here. I'll try to keep it short. There's definitely a lot more there, but that's a longer story for another time. I'm gonna keep working on that footage for sure. And if you're really interested in hearing the longer version and really getting to know Neil, drop a comment or whatever. Thank you for making it this far. I assume if you're seeing this, then you watched the whole thing. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.